Alright guys, how cool is this? How cool is this? So I was around my parents' house the other day, just clearing out some old stuff, and I come across this in one of the cupboards. Back in the 80s, when I used to go on holiday to France, I remember now, my dad used to film it all on like Super 8. And I found a camera, Move Zoom 10 Agfa. The lens is nice, man. Lens is a 1.8. It's a real super sharp lens. So yeah, I'm gonna get some Super 8 film for it, and I'm gonna give it a go at some point. Keep your eye out for that one. Gonna get some Super 8 footage. See how it goes. Anyway, that's not what this video is about, but I just thought I'd share it with you because I was pretty stoked when I found this. So it's got the bag and everything, the little microphone. Anyway, that's that camera. It's not what this video is about though, because this video is about this camera, GoPro. So this video I'm going to be colour grading some GoPro footage and trying to get it looking as cinematic as I can. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new to the channel, I do video, photography, gear and tech reviews, tutorials, all that sort of thing. Just generally getting creative, so it'd be great if you could get on board with the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell so that I can notify you when future films come out. Used to be Monday and Friday, I might be changing that to Monday and Thursdays now, see how that goes. So yeah, if you do enjoy the video, if you can make sure you subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and please comment below. Always like to read your comments. So yeah, and if you're a regular, you know what to do. Give us a like and leave me a comment below. It'd be great to have a chat with you. Anyway, so today, GoPro footage. First things first, I always try and shoot in the flat profile on a GoPro. I think the GoPro color profile in the camera is a bit saturated, because you are going to want to do a fair bit of color grading with GoPro footage because it's not at the same standard as a DSLR. Then I prefer to shoot in a flat profile, and I've got more control over what I'm doing in post to get the best results possible. So first bit of advice would be to shoot in a flat profile. I am going to be color grading the footage in Premiere Pro, but you can transfer most of these techniques to any color grading. Future videos I will be doing all this sort of thing using other programs, so please do comment below and let me know which programs you use so I know how to target the videos. But at the moment I do use Premiere Pro, so that is what I'm going to be color grading the GoPro footage in this tutorial. So the footage I'm going to be using I shot about a month ago. I went out on my one wheel, took it out to one of my favourite spots out the back of Worthing. No one around, nice sort of dirt tracks. There's a few dog walkers about, but that's about it. Okay, so we've got a GoPro footage here. I've already done the edit, pretty simple edit. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a new adjustment layer, and you just do that by clicking on this new item icon and then adjustment layer. I've already got an adjustment layer in here, so I can just use that one. And then you're going to drag the adjustment layer onto your clip, stretch it out across the whole project. Okay, so color correction. As with all color correction, you don't want to overdo it. I've seen so many oversaturated films lately, particularly drone films, and it just looks a bit weird. I think it looks weird. It's all personal preference though, so if you like the really saturated look, then that's what you're going to go for. So as with all these videos, I can show you how I color correct, but it might not necessarily be your style. But this is how I would color correct it. I go for a more cinematic, natural look, not overly saturated. So I'll show you how I do mine. It's up to you to use some of the tips I've given you, create your own color grade. But this is how I do it. When you're initially in your project, you'll probably be in the editing screen, which is this one here. What you then want to do is click on the color tab, and that will bring up this color panel in the right hand side. First thing you want to do is you want to find a clip in your project that has the best sort of lighting. Just go through. So yeah, I'm going to use this one. This is going to be the clip that I use as the template for my color grade. Now you could go into each individual clip and color grade them all individually, copy and paste across if the clip's similar. But I prefer to do a basic grade across the whole film and then go in and adjust individual clips afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my adjustment layer is selected, because you want to be careful when you've got an adjustment layer. You want to make sure that you're color correcting the adjustment layer and not the actual clip. So adjustment layer is selected, so the color grade will be on the adjustment layer and not the actual specific clip. And the first thing you want to do is try and sort out any white balance issues that you may have with the cap. Now, I'm quite lucky with this footage that I've got these white lights, so I can just use the dropper, select the white light as to my white balance, and it's pretty much bang on. And then you just really want to eyeball it. You use the temperature, and obviously if it goes to the left it'll cool it down, it goes to the right it'll warm it up. And you just want to sort of eyeball it and see, that looks good to me. Then you can play with the greens and the magentas. For me, that looks about right. So after you've looked at the white balance, the next thing you want to do is you want to do some basic color correction. Again, this is all by eyeball, but GoPro footage is notoriously lacking in contrast and dynamics, and that's what we want to introduce to try and make the footage look more cinematic. So, that in mind, I am going to up the contrast straight away. Add quite a lot of contrast, maybe 40%, maybe even 50%. I might bring the highlights down a little bit, they're a bit overpowering at the moment. I'm going to introduce some more shadows. Bring the whites down slightly and crush the blacks a little bit. Okay, this is what we've done already just with basic color correction. That's with the color grade off, that's with the color grade on. Okay, so already the footage is starting to look better. Next thing you want to do is go to the creative tab. GoPro footage can sometimes be a little bit soft, so I might sharpen that up a little bit, not too much, don't want to go mad, maybe 15%. And I might up the saturation just a tiny bit to 110% maybe a bit less, 107. That looks good to me. Okay, again we're going to toggle that on and off, on, already looking much better. None of this is using any complex colour grading, really simple to do, and a lot of it is just eyeballing. Well, all of it pretty much is just eyeballing, seeing what looks better, and just not overdoing things, just keep it simple. Next tab you want to look at is the curves tab. This is what I always like to do to my films. So this bottom curve, the blacks, if you bring this curve up, just a bit, not too much, then what you do is you make the blacks not so black. It gives it a kind of milky black feel, which is quite cinematic. It looks quite cool. I like to do this on a lot of my films. It's quite a simple technique. but it really does add something to the footage. So you can do that, and then just play around with the other curves, see if you need to add anything to the mids. I'm just going to keep it like that. And then the next thing we want to play with is the colour wheels. I don't really touch the highlights with the colour wheels, hardly ever at all. But you might want to play around with the mid-tones. Obviously wherever you go in this circle, it will introduce that colour to the picture. Maybe warm it up just a tad. Let's see what it looks like before and after. Yeah, just a little bit. Might add some blues to the shadows, just a tiny bit. Again, really subtle stuff. And that's all I'm going to do in terms of colour. But what I will do now is go back to my basic correction, and I will just see if there's anything else I need to adjust. Now I've made the changes with the colour wheels and the curves, I'm going to go back to the basic settings and just see if I need to tweak anything there. So I'll have a look. Right. That all looks good. Put some highlights back in. Drop the shadows slightly. Okay, leave that where it is. I'm quite happy with that. That's what the original footage looks like. That's our colour correction. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Because I've colour corrected the adjustment layer, each clip in this project will now have this colour grade applied. So now I'm going to go through each individual clip and then adjust those clips individually should they need anything else done to them. So let's do that from the start. And as you can see, where I've crushed the blacks, these blacks are all looking really synthetic now, so we obviously need to sort that out. So I'll bring those blacks up on this clip. To there, maybe a little bit more. That's it. Apart from that, clip looks pretty good to me. Maybe bring the shadows up just a tiny bit. Exposure, yeah, a tiny bit of exposure. Okay, so let's move to the next clip. Again with this, if we go to where the blacks are, those blacks are crushed a little bit too much, so let's bring some blacks up there. Maybe again just tweak the exposure just a tiny bit. Okay, with this one, with the white t-shirt, I think I'm going to adjust the highlights and bring those down a little bit. Bit too much. Bring the highlights down just a bit. No, I'm going to bring the blacks up on this one a little bit as well. Okay, next one. This one's quite dark, and you can see again the blacks have been crushed too much on this one, so we'll bring the blacks up. And we'll tweak the exposure on this one a little bit as well. Okay, next one. So this one is the same as this one. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the Lumetri colour on this clip, and I'm going to paste it onto that one. Same clip, so same colour grade. Okay, and this one's going to look okay because this is the one that we colour graded for. And the same with this one. This one looks okay. That looks okay to me. Maybe the exposure a tiny bit. Bring this exposure up just a tiny bit. This one looks quite dark, and you can see the blacks are starting to get crushed a little bit too much. So we'll bring the blacks up a little bit, and we will up the exposure a tiny bit on this one as well. So this is the same clip, so all we can do with this one is we can select the colour from that clip and paste it onto this one. Okay, this one, you can see the blacks are clearly crushed here, so we'll bring the blacks up a little bit. That's it. And we will up the exposure on this a fair bit, I think, maybe 1. So the last thing I'm going to do, this is sort of optional, up to you. I like to do it on my GoPro footage because it just gives it a little bit more of a cinematic look, is add the crop bars. Really simple to do. Click on your adjustment layer, go to the effects tab, type in crop, click on it, and then so we're going to go 13% from the top, 13% from the bottom, and there we have our crop bars. Okay, so here's what it looks like before the grade and after the grade. Roll the film. So there we have it. That's how I colour grade my GoPro footage. I don't usually use any LUTs or presets or anything like that. I just do it from scratch. Shooting flat profile, I'll always give you the best starting point. Don't rely on the inbuilt colour profiles on the GoPro, they're not great. Especially when you're trying to match with other cameras, you really do need to do some colour grading on the GoPro footage. Add some dynamics to the footage and give it that cinematic look. Worth spending a little bit of time grading your GoPro footage, just fine-tuning everything really. Just spend a little bit of time tweaking and fine-tuning. It's worth it because in the end you'll get much better results. So I hope you found the video useful. If you have, please do like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you get notified when I post a new video. Please do leave a comment below. I always like reading your comments, and it's a good way to create a bit of a community, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a bit of a community, somewhere people can go and enjoy creative stuff with other fellow creatives. So please do comment below, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.